let freedom go away, you lose the prosperity. Now, I've got people that I tell you are my new heroes, Andrea Hernandez and Steve Hernandez, because their children or their child go to a school where they're trying to give them satellite tracker boxes. They've got RFID going in. Also in San Antonio, Department of Defense cameras that watch the food the children eat. If you don't believe me, just type in cameras, track what children eat in San Antonio schools. It's a Department of Defense DARPA program. They're trying to have them as lab rats to train them to be prisoners. And they said they'd come on the phone. I said, well, we only got like 20 minutes for you. And they said, well, we'll still drive up. So they were very gracious to come up here on short notice. I could talk to them for 5 hours if we had the time. In fact, I'm tempted to go over there after the show and tape a show for the nightly news, but I've got other meetings set up. But they join us. Here are the headlines out of WOAI TV and radio. Poll, parents and students oppose new school tracking device. WorldNet Daily, rebellion erupts over school student chipping plan. Continuing here, I mean, it's just big national news. And here they are, Steve Hernandez and his wife. Guys, tell us about yourselves. Tell us about your son who's here and why you guys are doing this.
This is my daughter, Andrea, and this is my son, Vincent.
So we were unable to get your wife in with us, I guess?
My wife wasn't able to make it today, yeah.
I mean, that's why I thought, wow, his wife looks really young. Listen, I've been so busy. You've seen me running around in here during the breaks that I just met you right as you came in here. So I thought, yes, because he quotes your wife here fighting it as well in the news.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, tell us about you and your wife and why you're concerned.
Yeah, my wife and I, when we saw this letter that came out on August 10th from John Jay High School, it said they were going to start putting these new smart IDs out there with chips in it, tracking chips. And the first thing that came to my mind was Revelations. Because in Revelations, it says you cannot buy, sell without the mark from the beast. Well, we know this isn't the mark of the beast. We know that this is the conditioning of it. They're trying to condition the people into thinking this is normal. This is the norm. And because of our religious beliefs, we said, no, we're not going to allow my daughter to wear that tracking device. And my son goes to NISD school, but he's not being tracked at this moment. But that's what I'm fighting for, not just for my children, but for every student out there, every parent. There's a lot of people out there who are misinformed. They don't know what's going on. They're just saying, hey, it's a great idea. Let's go ahead and do it. NISD has a stronghold. It's a stronghold over parents and teachers and students. They really... God, it's hard to really...
So they're turning it into a prison. I mean, you have Department of Defense. You've seen that on the news where they have the cameras watching what they eat?
Yes, sir.
And it's an AI computer that can tell how many calories you get watching you eat an apple?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And that's another thing we're concerned about because they're trying to take out certain kind of machines out of the schools and put in this kind of machine. They're trying to make the kids into something they want them to be. They're not letting these children be free and to be themselves.
They're saying children shouldn't even play at the park now. They're saying,
and they're not only should they play at the park, they shouldn't be. They can opt out of gym class now, and all these other things. This is ridiculous. I've seen that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have dodgeball or run at recess.
Yeah, because it interferes with their learning capability.
Tell us about your son. I mean, you've got your son, your daughter here. You brought some family as well today. I mean, tell us the experience they've had and why they're here.
My son is here to support us, and Vinny's been out there with us 100%, pushing this idea and telling us, hey, look, this is not fair. And you didn't ask us. You just put this out there. And I don't want my son, when it comes to his school, supposedly supposed to come to his school, if it does go to his school, he's not going to wear the chip either. I just plain...
Well, if they get away with this, they can do anything. And they're saying they want to make people do this. This is incredible.
And, and what's crazy here, this program costs $525,000 just for 2 schools. There's 112 schools in the district, and it costs $136,000 a year to run the program.
It's pure military-industrial complex profiteering, boondoggle.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I mean, you're the expert on this. Tell us all about it, and anytime your son or daughter want to pop in.
Oh, absolutely. And go ahead, baby.
Yeah, these ideas, they're completely useless. And, I think it's a waste of all the money that we've been giving to the school for so many years. You're just going to take my money and use it to track me. I already go to school. You have cameras every 5 feet. You have security guards, and you have your admin out in the hallways. That's enough protection as it is. Protection.
Well, guys, can you pull up the Eisenhower quote? He said, safety, if you want safety, go to prison. I mean, this is the opposite of safety, a government trying to make you wear tracker chips. Some of the schools down there and in Texas, they want a GPS unit.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this.
And here's the thing.
You have two of them. We can document cam this.
This one is the new tracking chip badge, and this one is their old one. They're trying to say this one's going to make things safer for everybody. I don't understand how it's going to make anybody safer. I really don't. I don't see how it makes people safer. It gives out this. Wade Garcia was on Catherine Albrecht's radio show, okay, from spychips.com, and said, hey, this never shuts off. It's always emitting a signal.
Well, they caught them in San Francisco, where not just the toll roads, but everywhere they put up readers to track the toll road chip. In fact, there it is, guys. We got a document cam on that. There it is. Keep telling us about it, Mr. Hernandez.
You know, and the reason I said this reminds me of Revelations, because she can't even go to school and buy her lunch unless she has this. Kids are being bribed with candy and gifts to wear it around their necks. They're encouraged to wear it around their necks. And then they were also told, and they were also told that they cannot hold leadership positions in school if they don't wear the chip.
So now it's discrimination against Christians or people that don't want to live with a prisoner badge.
Absolutely.
I mean, imagine what Hitler would have done with something like this.
Yeah, oh yeah, it would have been worse. It would have been worse than what happened. Andrea does want to share some new information that came to us yesterday, and it came straight from her bus driver.
Yeah, my bus driver, I was on the bus, and there's this big old gray box, and I was like, sir, what is that for? He goes, oh, that's for the security cameras. And I was like, okay. And then there's this little black bar, and it's right above the bus driver's window. And I said, sir, what does that do? He goes, oh, that's for that home project. And I was like, what are you talking about, sir? He goes, you know, your badges. And I was like, so I get tracked on the bus? He goes, yep. So they tracked me on the bus as well.
But then lied. They were in the news saying we don't track you. Tell folks about that, because we're the enemy. Out of hand, they lie to us on every front.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it only works inside of the school. You know, we can only track inside the school, but then they go put trackers on your buses, and then this never turns off. And
just like the laptops. Just like the laptops in Pennsylvania where they watch the kids at home.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We heard about that one, too.
What's incredible is that here you are fighting. Tell folks what you've done. I mean, this has become a big national story. Now the majority of parents I see in the headlines, they don't like it either. We need it, but they're just trying to stonewall and say, we're doing this.
Well, you know, we started out with one newscast in KSAT 12 in San Antonio, and then all of a sudden, it just blew up. The gentleman that came here today that's out there in the waiting room, his name is Bobby Scott, and I had to give all respect to him, because if it wasn't for Bobby Scott, I wouldn't be sitting here today with you.
You know what? I just had an epiphany. I've already got 2 interviews lined up tonight for the Nightly News. This is so important. Can you guys, right when the show ends in a few minutes, about 15 minutes, can I have Aaron Dykes, because I've got 2 meetings I've got to do ahead of the interviews, could you go in and do like a 30, 40-minute interview where you can just cover all of it, show your documents, so there's a huge record of this, of what you're doing?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I want to respect the fact that you've come here and that I've got such a busy day, I kind of just crammed you in here. I apologize for not being more prepared, because this is so important, sir. And I just want to say I admire you.
Thank you.
You're the type of person that's going to save this country and turn things around.
Thank you.
I just said, I mean, you're my hero. I mean that. You're my hero.
Thank you.
People like you, your son who's got the courage to be here, your daughter, your wife who couldn't be here today. I mean, because she's got to work. You guys are incredible. You're normal. This is what a normal person does when they try to give you slave badges.
And let me tell you what. If it wasn't for Bob Scott, I wouldn't be here, because he called me 6 times at work.
Well, we'll interview him in there. Tell us about him. That's why he's here. We'll get him on the TV.
This guy listens to talk radio, and he said, you know, they're talking about you. You need to call this lady Katie somebody. And it was on the Joe Pag show. So I Googled it real quick. Oops, I'm not supposed to say Googled. I searched it real quick, and I sent Katie an email. And the next day, Katie called me, and it's blowing up since then. We've had protests in front of Anson Jones Middle School. We didn't get favorable coverage.
That's because you're standing up for those children who are being abused and inducted into a prison state, and the media wants to keep this going. They're collaborating.
We didn't get favorable coverage at all, except for the first 2 on WOAI Channel 4 and KSAT 12. The first 2 interviews were favorable.
Because they know this could set a precedent nationwide, like Rosa Parks saying, I won't sit at the back of the bus. They need to bring this slave grid in. There's billions behind this.
Oh, yeah. I think yesterday when we were doing the math, came out to almost $40 million for 112 schools. If it's $525,000 for just 2 schools.
And they want to put them in all San Antonio schools.
110 schools more.
And you're the beta test, because that's where the whole military is.
Absolutely.
And they're rolling it out.
And they want these kids to start wearing it from kinder all the way up till they graduate. No, I'm not going to have that. I would rather homeschool my children first. In fact, I'd rather be here with you today talking about this and help educating people to get this word out. This is ridiculous.
Son, I mean, what's your take on this? Why are you here with your dad?
I'm here to support him. I don't think that my sister or I should ever have to wear this badge. I mean, it's pointless. And all the money that they're putting to the badges, it could be used for other things like athletics, teachers and stuff.
Tutoring.
Yeah.
But instead, it's being used to teach you the most important thing, that you're a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And that Big Brother's going to watch everything you do. This is like a science fiction movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
And by the way, you said it's leading to the beast. I agree, but it's pretty much kind of that link, that final link, because you got a thumbprint face scan in most schools now to get your lunch. That's already digitally connected. That's already tracking you. To get library books, this is going in tanning salons, bookstores. They've got Facebook now trying to make you use this to buy and sell. It's here. We're in trouble. And it turns out Facebook is CIA, Google's NSA. Everything's coming out. They built this whole fake grid for us.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. The things that we've been finding out ever since Katie and Catherine and Liz McIntyre have been talking with us. I mean, We Are Change San Antonio enlightened me. We Are Change Texas Hill Country. All these folks come to my house, visit with me, call me on the phone. I mean, my email is just blown up.
For those that don't know, We Are Change is a group that came out of a fellow, Luke Radowski, I supported, that's grassroots, another basically info warrior group of people that just aren't left or right. They stand for basic freedom.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, our kids shouldn't wear tracker chips that even follow them outside school, and the Department of Defense shouldn't have $500,000 AI computers watching the kids.
You know, and we went to NISD, and we were given Citizens to Speak hour. Okay, so Citizens to Be Heard hour came up, and we went up there. I was the first one, then Andrea, and then the rest of the folks who were there. And the lady by the name of Karen Freeman, we call her the president because she was kind of running the whole show. She said, you know, we're going to give you this time to speak, but we don't have to act on this.
Oh, they always want you to know you don't have power. I've had the mayor and people, when I was fighting the Patriot Act, walk off stage. And they want you to know, you got your time to speak, but we're not listening. You don't have power, little man.
We couldn't clap, we couldn't cheer, we couldn't do nothing. They told Matthew Medina, if you clap one more time, you're out of here, or have you escorted. But you know, and it's fine. We don't mind. Matthew actually got a ticket for using a bullhorn to help protest because the police said he broke the barrier, the sound.
Which, by the way, it didn't, because I've seen but that's it. They're getting scared. Oh no, they're not going to let us turn them into prisoners. You know, this is our food. We're the government. These are our cows. No cows. You're our food. You're our slave.
You know, the NISD police department, we were listening to them talk when we were outside Anson Jones, and they're actually telling their parents, oh, this is a great idea, because if there was a fire, we can track your children. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, if you're going to track my children, who's going to track the poor guy who's tracking the children in the room? Who's going to save him?
Well, look, the whole point is they never use exactly the cameras or any of this. It's all about control.
It's all about money and control. That's all it is. I went to John Jay High School 25 years ago. There's no difference now. I hear a lot of people, I've been chastised, I've been yelled at, I've had arguments with people. But you know what? They keep telling me, Steve, keep your mouth shut. Just tell your daughter to put your badge on and go to school and learn something.
And do the next thing. Now they're starting forced inoculation outside of law. It's a felony. They're injecting nationwide and injecting your children and lying and saying it's the law when it's a policy, not a law. And again, a government that'll do this, I wouldn't trust them with the vaccines. There's a whole history of that. But you know the clip from Bug's Life. If you let one ant stand up, they might all stand up. That's why they're telling you, who is a hero for just being normal, you're bad. You're bad. Steve Hernandez, he's bad. His daughter, Andrea Hernandez, you're bad. Your son, you're bad because you don't want to be a prisoner.
And you know, let me tell you what. There are teachers who don't want to speak up, and they're Christians because they're afraid to lose their jobs. I have a friend of mine.
Well, there you are, and they'll take the mark of the beast then if they're scared now. Folks, if you're not taking action now, when will you?
Absolutely.
Well, they tell them that's why you're going to be raptured, so you don't have to worry about it. That's all been pre-planned.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. God will say he doesn't know you if you don't stand up against this.
Absolutely. You know,
what you do to the least of me, you've done to me. All these enforcers need to know that. Hurting children and innocent people, better to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the ocean.
Absolutely.
You'll call that a terror threat. No, you don't have to worry about me. God is going to cut you down if you don't repent right now. We'll be right back. Sooner or later, going to cut you down. Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at InfoWarsShop.com None Dare Call a Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com. Dwight D. Eisenhower, speaking to a major university, you can look it up, it's a vetted quote, said, if you want total security, go to prison. There you're fed, clothed, and given medical care and so on. The only thing lacking is freedom. And, that's the fact here. The NSA has been caught spying on everyone, political people. They're now arresting peaceful protesters, saying it's terrorism to protest. That's mainstream news. The hour is late. This is Department of Defense run. I'm not against our military, but our government's been taken over. It's been taken over by globalists who say they've conquered this nation, foreign banks. And it was about 12 years ago, WorldNet Daily reported on it. You can look this up. In Louisiana, they tried to make them wear these RFID badges, and satellite trackers are now coming out. And first they tried to expel people, but then others joined the children, like a prison break, a protest, and they had to remove them. So they're scared because they've tried to do this over and over again, and they're acting like you're weird. They're acting like you're crazy. They've been trying this for 20 years. So remember that, Mr. Hernandez. They've got PSYOPs people. This is multi-billions nationwide to get this in.
Absolutely.
They are scared of you. They know you're in the right, and they want to make you think you're bad. What response have you gotten from family? You were talking to me during the break.
I hardly any response from family. I get more support from strangers and people at work than I do from families. I've asked people to support me, go into the girls' Facebook site and put something positive, help us out, because they're all Christians. And I have a lot of Christian friends and family who think it's fine. They think it's absolutely fine what they're doing. And unfortunately...
Well, you were saying even more during the break. I mean, some people are telling you in the family, tell us.
I don't get, any response from my family. I'm getting, people that are supposed to be friends that are turning their backs on me saying, just wear it. It's just a badge. And I was like, no, this is a lot bigger than just a badge. It's not just a badge. It's a badge is this. This is a badge. This is a chip.
That's a tracker. Exactly. A barcode's one thing. And we always said it'll lead to chips next with the barcodes.
Yes.
It was Louisiana said no to the barcodes, actually. Because people can read those, by the way, and then get your personal data.
Yes.
You can, with the eye, read a barcode once you learn the spaces. Son, you were wanting to show people the signs you've got for protesting. One of you was telling me during the break, though, about family saying, hey, quit it, quit it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There you go. I am not a number. And then you've got the other one, Tracking No, and that's Catherine Albrecht right here on the Genesis Network who helped you out with those. Well, here's the deal. Where do you go from here? Because you've got all these other documents and articles you'll be able to cover on the nightly news.
Just to hit real quick on what you're saying about family. I had a family member text me yesterday, and he says, you're always into something. Why can't you just leave stuff alone? Just tell your daughter, put the badge on, go to school and learn something. Well, let me ask you something. And I'm sure he's going to not like this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. How is a tracking chip going to make her learn? It's not going to help her with her education.
It's going to make her learn to wear a prisoner badge.
Exactly. It's going to condition her, make her learn to be conditioned and think everything is okay. It's not the norm.
They now put people through body scanners at Sony factories and stuff. We're being inducted into a prison culture. And it's so incredible. Tell us about your Facebooks and things, how people can help you.
Oh, absolutely. The girls set up a Facebook. It's called Students Against RFID Tracking. And my Facebook is linked to theirs. So whatever I post on mine, I post on theirs. For those who support us, go in there and put your comments, your opinions, send pictures.
Oh, well, we're going to tweet your Facebook right down. Will you guys ask somebody to tweet for me? Because I got my hands full. tweet that out, that everybody needs to stand with you, because they don't want you to have solidarity, aid, and comfort.
No,
they don't want American patriots to have aid and comfort. They want to make you feel like you're alone and demoralized.
And, you know, and we're telling everybody, look, if you want to learn more about this, go to spychips.com, because they're posting everything that we're doing in San Antonio on their website to help us. You know, I'm going to tell you what, these ladies have just been overwhelmingly supportive, and they're great people.
Well, they're looking for a hero. I mean, they understand you're there in the fight. Everybody nationwide. This is happening everywhere, by the way.
Yes, sir, yes.
You're just one of the few people that's got half a brain to realize the evil. And, sir, I salute you. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.